Hi there, everybody. Andrew Anderson here, and the long-awaited video on and the explanation of what is sixth gear. So I know all of you, or there's quite a few of you, I don't know, dozens and dozens, were asking me, I wonder what sixth gear really is. Well, I'm about to tell you, so let's dive into it here. So, howdy, guys and gals. Here is the explanation of sixth gear for you as promised, okay? So, sixth gear is a term that I came up with to describe the great feeling I got and you can get too from doing intermittent fasting and or keto, okay? Why did I call it sixth gear? Because within 24 hours of my first time doing intermittent fasting, it felt like my mind and body had found an extra gear that I did not know that I had ever had before. I mean, I had been in overdrive or fifth gear because I'd been getting in shape, off and on. I've been a runner and everything else, but I'd not experienced this before. It kind of was mind blowing. So the bottom line was I felt great. I mean, fantastic, really. I had more energy. My mind was clear. My mood was happy, to say the least. I was like almost bouncing off the walls. And I've noticed some of you have mentioned that as well. So it's a good thing so far. And then I knew this at the time that it was not just all in my head. There had to be something physically going on. And I suspected at the very least that there were endorphins were kicking in, and I was sure that there was quite a few other mechanisms as well. And after the second day, I was thinking, I could really get used to this. And I just noticed that my work pace increased, the quality of my work. I mean, I was on fire when I woke up until I went to bed. And then after the third day, I was thinking, man, I sure hope this lasts. And guess what? It did. It kept getting better and better and better. So what happened after my first fasted workout? This is where I worked out after I hadn't been eating, and I think I was already up to 16 or 18 hours that time. It didn't take me too long at all. I think I did 14 or 16 hours the first day, then I went to 16, and then I just went right to 18. I didn't have any trouble getting into the whole intermittent fasting thing, really, so I was kind of blessed. Some people will, some people won't. But anyway, so after I got done with my workout, I didn't think it could get much better, but it flippin' did. I felt like I had like 5 cups of coffee and 2 shots of tequila, if you can imagine that, without the bad effects. I wasn't all jittery. I was had tons of energy, but I was just like relaxed too, and had like this really happy feeling going on. It was amazing. And then so imagine that I was focused, clear-headed, relaxed, and oh, there's one more big thing that I'd not heard mentioned before, and this kind of totally took me by surprise. This was on about day 3 or 4. Okay, are you ready for this? And you may have heard of this before, but no one had talked about this because it kind of took me by surprise. My sex drive went into frickin' overdrive too. I mean, it shot through the roof. And while it's all calm, cool, and collected and stuff, I mean, it was there with a vengeance. So I go like, holy moly, Batman! There's all kinds of goodness that are coming into this. So, and it gets even better. Okay, so that was the buildup for this stuff, but wait. When I combined IF and keto, it was like I stomped on the accelerator for all of the above because I was just doing intermittent fasting first. And then I started, I think it was in about day 10, I started going into keto. And I'd done it off and on for the past 20 years, ever since Atkins had came out, but I'd never combined these two before. And so it was just crazy what happened after that. So here are some of why this happens, okay? And then you don't have to take my word for it. And I'd been looking at this and collecting this information anecdotally on myself and from other people that I was speaking with that were doing it. But I'm going to give you the scientific reason for it. And there is science behind this, okay? So one of the big things is BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and there's HGH, which is human growth hormone, and for men, there's testosterone too. So we're going to take a look and dive into that. And for women, um, it may not be as dramatic, but I've had reports from the Facebook group that this does take place. And although it can go one way or the other with the sex drive thing, depending on from this is my observation. I'm not giving you medical advice, but it looks like if they're not eating enough fats, that can have an impact on them. And if they go much more than 16 or 18 hours, because guess what, guys and gals, men and women are different. I know that's shocking, but it's true. So let's dive into some of the science behind this. So I'm going to blow through this a little bit quickly, but this is from directly from the source where these studies are. I don't like going off other people's blog posts or other people's information. I want to go directly to the source, and even if you're not all that up or sciency, most of you can figure this stuff out. Okay, you can follow this along. Don't get this second, third, fourth, or fifth hand. Okay. Um, Although I'm happy to give you my interpretation of it, you need to get your own in there as well. But this is where it talks about the gene and protein structures and about all of the goodness that's there. And I think I've got some better ones in here. And this one talks about, let's see here, fasting and what happens with it. And it talks about how it decreases oxidative damage and inflammation. This has a huge impact on why you feel so much better because your mitochondria you have tons and tons more energy because your mitochondria, which creates your energy in your cells, is not getting stressed out. And let me blow through here. I was looking for something. I may have this open already. Let's see here. This is how it helps stop aging, and it can help when you're on chemotherapy. And I think I've got this here. I'm going to blow it here. This is how it goes and helps your human growth hormone secretion, and this is big as well. And so I'm was able to find all of this information to back all of it up. And HGH, I think if I remember correctly, they said it can increase by as much as 200 to 400%. And then here's what we're going to dive into, okay? Let me pull this up a little bit here so we can see this. So it increases neuroplasticity, which basically it's your brain's ability to think more clearly, to make neurons, to make new connections. And when you go into ketosis, one of the other things is because you're burning ketones, that's like rocket fuel for your brain. So that can help explain some of what's the mechanisms that are going on there. So the whole six gear phenomena when it comes to IF and keto is real. It exists, and there's all kinds of biomechanisms that increasingly contribute to it. Once you get into it, and they're finding more and more of them too. So for instance, decreased insulin and IGF and leptin increased ketones. That's what I was just talking about there. Reduced energy uptake because your mitochondria, they don't need as much fuel to run as they used to. You're giving your body an actual break on this. And we're talking about, I'll put the links in here. I mean, we could go on for hours on this, but let me see what else we have in here. There was something that I wanted to. Let me make this a little bit smaller here. Whoops, going the wrong way. Oh, here we go. Um, it increases. Can I move this over? I can. There we go. Increased parasympathetic. Darn it. Tone. So basically, your heart gets in better shape, and it reduces your blood pressure too, which is, go figure, it's all benefits of this. So it's pretty flippin' amazing actually when it comes right down to it. Here was an article in, let me go back here so you can go check this out. And imagine this is Daily Mail, and I finally closed some of this stuff down. They're talking about how going low carb can have similar effects to ecstasy. Now, there's a big difference, well, it's actually kind of small between BGHB and GHB. Although they have the same chemical formula, you don't want to get into ecstasy. And the BHB is the good kind, and it doesn't have the bad side effects. So it can lead to a feeling of euphoria, and it's pretty cool, actually. And if you go back in time, whether anyone, all the mystics and stuff, they fasted and they reached that state of expanded consciousness. And I was able to flip and do this just doing intermittent fasting and keto, and I didn't have to do it for 30 days and 30 nights. So there you go. And that explains a lot of the feelings that you're going to have. And this is more about increasing testosterone in men as well. So anyway, we're going to dive back in our slideshow here, and we'll be good to go. So, but remember, do your own research. You should always consult your doctor before you try a new diet or take any new supplements. Okay, this is common sense. I'm not giving you medical advice here. I'm just telling you the story and what I've been able to find out. So that's going to be about it. Oh, and one more thing. So that's it for 6th Gear. I hope that helped you understand what's going on. And I've also expanded it to not only just being the mental well-being and the physical well-being, but 6th Gear, I'm trying to apply this increased energy, the increased thought power into making more money, which was one of my main goals in starting this in the first place. So anyway, that's about it. Go sign up for our newsletter at intermittentfastingandketo.com, and I will put together more goodies for you. And the reason why I can do this is because I'm testing out some new systems that I can actually make money, unlike this thing that you know, is kind of taken on a life of its own, and I don't mind contributing to it, but my time is really tight these days, and so I can justify doing this by testing out some of the things we're going to use in our other businesses. And so if you could go test out the newsletter, make sure you get it, make sure you get the welcome email, make sure everything works, and then let me know if everything's copacetic there. And if you sign up for it, one, just like the rest of this, I promise not to spam you with a ton of information, but as I'm putting together this information, like quick start guides, what to eat, or what I eat anyway, and as I find more new information, I can be able to pass along, because it just gets lost in Facebook, and it's not super duper conducive to doing that. And on our website, believe it or not, we're going to have a place where you can track what you're eating. You can put together recipes and all kinds of goodies. I don't know when I'll get it done, but soon. But I did get this done for you today, so I want to wrap this up, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks. Andrew Anderson signing off for Intermittent Fasting Keto, and go 6th Gear. Have a great day. Bye-bye.